Thank you, Minister of Finance Gadan, for inviting us, and also Minister Al-Faleh. A few points that I want to emphasize, and it's linked to the previous talk, which has to do with energy, renewable energy, and how sustainable investments today go into sectors that are actually proving to be quite important for the continent. If we're talking about renewable energy, green hydrogen, these are sectors which have very important potential. If I take the case of Egypt, we have with the Saudi Arabia several investments in that field with some of the key private sector investors which have benefited from multilateral concessional finance to de-risk their investments in the country. So there are very important examples when it comes to mitigation. In the speech we heard from Minister of Finance in the morning, there was an emphasis on food security. And food security is also linked to water management. So when we look at, and I'm sorry to bring it back to the climate talk, because adaptation is a very important investment in Africa. And when we take a look at the estimates of the gaps that are required for investing in adaptation within the continent, they are quite sizable, and therefore they create opportunities for private sector investments from the Kingdom, from GCC, also joint ventures from several of the companies that have been doing similar work in Egypt, for instance, and we see this taking place within Africa. So if we are looking at the continent with its massive opportunities, both from the demographic point of view, or the minerals and the natural resources that could actually be added to the value chains, there is that incentive for private sector to come in. Finance comes in as the lubricant that is able to make this materialize. And the only way to overcome the debt burden that has also been mentioned in the morning is to create the environment for investments. So this is again sort of the triangle of regulatory reforms, the availability of concessional finance to de-risk private sector engagement, and the third point is also to work with many of the different organizations to create a pipeline of projects. This morning was mentioned the Arab funds. There is a group that works collectively in different countries in the continent to identify possible projects that are open for private sector investments. So just to sum up, when we talk about sustainable investments, it's very important to note that many of the countries in Africa have updated their nationally determined contributions, and therefore there is a commitment to move within this climate space on mitigation and adaptation. Nonetheless, there needs to be more concessionality in order to de-risk private sector investment, and investment is needed to alleviate the debt burden. So there is a triangle that needs to be addressed. And then finally, of course, the African Free Trade Agreement provides a very important gateway and opportunity for more integration within the continent, where digital investments are much needed, e-commerce is much needed, and I think fora such as this create more insight into the opportunities and the synergies between the continent. Thank you.
Yeah.